Good morning, my Darren Daily friends. So I have an important question to ask you this morning. Are you smart? If you are, you better be careful. You see, smart people fail more often. Why? Because as you develop knowledge and expertise, your mind naturally becomes closed. You tend to think, oh, I already know how to do this, and you become less open to new information, ideas, and input. You see, the mind can get lazy, and we just repeat methods and behavior that have worked for us in the past. As a result, we miss learning new ways of thinking or approaches to life's challenges and opportunities. This is the danger that comes with being quote-unquote smart and quote-unquote expert. We tend to block the information that disagrees with our expert position, the way we know to be true. We can now only hear and see that which confirms our current approach. We think that we are learning and growing, but what we're really doing is entrenching. We steamroll through new information and conversations, looking only for those things that match up with our current philosophy or our previous experience. Kind of cherry picking information to justify our current ideas and already decided conclusions. The problem is that when you are an expert, you actually need to pay more attention, not less. Why? Because when you're already familiar with 98% of the information on a topic, you need to listen especially close to pick up that remaining 2%. What you want to maintain is something Buddhists call shoshin, meaning a beginner's mind. It refers to having an attitude of openness and eagerness and a lack of preconceptions when studying a new subject. Even when studying at an advanced level, engaged and listening as closely as a beginner would approaching that subject for the first time. Apparently, we've been fighting this tendency for a millennia because back in the 4th century BC, Mencius said, "The wise person is the one who doesn't lose the child's heart and mind." You see, we marvel at how easy it is for children to learn something new compared to adults. If you introduce a child to a new language, they pick it up quickly. Not just one or two, many. My wife Georgia was riding down the elevator at our building in South Beach, Miami, and on the elevator was this little girl who was speaking fluent Portuguese. My wife Georgia is Brazilian, so she started speaking with her in Portuguese. And then she started talking to the little girl's parents in Portuguese, but the parents responded in English, we don't speak Portuguese. Georgia then, of course, asked, well, then how does your precious little girl? They responded, her nanny only speaks Portuguese. Amazing, right? Children, they don't lack capacity. They only lack teachers. But you try to learn a new language as an adult, it's really tough, right? Why? Because we are confined by our smartness, by the confines of what we already know. It is confining. That's why we have to have the old, you can't teach an old dog new tricks adage. It's only because the old dog thinks he or she already knows it all. You can learn new things at any time in your life if you're willing to be a beginner. If you can actually learn like being a beginner, the world opens up to you in ways you've never even dreamed of. One Zen master called the beginner's mind a mind that is empty and is ready for new things. Here is how Steve Jobs put it. He said, "I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. Less sure about everything, it freed me up to enter one of the most creative periods of my entire life." So here are a few suggestions in developing and maintaining a beginner's mind. Number one, assume that you're an idiot. Ironically, not thinking you're an idiot and knowing it all is actually what makes you an idiot. You see, we're all idiots. But if you have the privilege of knowing that, then you can start to let go of your preconceptions and approach life with the openness of a beginner. Here's number two, stop talking and start asking. Ask this, tell me more about that. Open your mind to hearing about the world through someone else's perspective. And then number three, down, Tiger. Don't feel compelled to always have to respond or contribute to the conversation. Just step back and just observe and listen. Continue to learn versus going into instruction mode. While you might find this hard to believe since you sit here and listen to me and my advice every morning, in my personal life, I rarely, if ever, give advice. I rarely, if ever, lead the conversation. I am always, if not only, asking questions and taking it in. I'm not even looking for the opportunities to agree or expand. I am just looking to learn and observe. I recommend it. It allows you to continually be learning and growing without the constraint of supposed expertise. Give it a try, starting today.